Ooh, those brows are full. No. What is happening, everyone? Bienvenidos. Join the family and hit that Really? Right in the intro? What's happening, everyone? Bienvenidos. Join the family and hit that subscribe button. I would love to have you. All are welcome here as long as you are kind to one another. And today is very exciting because I am going to be trying out Rare Beauty by Selena Gomez. I know this is very hyped up right now and for very good reason. I think that the collection is beautiful. I love Selena Gomez. However, I am just going to be trying the product and giving you my honest opinion on how it feels, how it looks, how it wears. If you're expecting a down to the nitty-gritty detail review on price point, all those little things, that's not the kind of reviewer that I am. I myself just like to try makeup and from an artist perspective, see how it looks, how it overall just wears. Is it amazing? Is it worth putting on your face? Full disclosure, I already played with some of the products off camera last night, mainly because I wanted to see if the shades they sent me matched. They did match me a little darker. I told them I was an olive undertone and they went towards the darker side. I'm starting off bare face because we're just gonna get right into it. So this is the Rare Beauty Illuminating Primer. So we're gonna start off with this. Didn't try this yet. First off, let's see the texture straight out the bottle. You can tell I haven't used it because look at how it's coming out. There's none. There we go. And I'm just gonna apply this all over. It does not have that typical silicone primer texture. It definitely feels more like a moisturizer than anything else with a really nice glow to it. It looks nice and dewy, not glittery. It definitely gave the skin a really nice slip, which I love before going in with foundation. I'm actually gonna go in with one of the illuminators next because from my first impression of playing with them yesterday, they are very metallic. They kind of remind me of the Cover FX. Let me look up the name. I think these are it. I'm not too sure. They were called the Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops. That is a very similar finish. Very, very metallic, radiant, bam, highlight. Let's swatch them first before I apply one of the colors. This first one is Mesmerize. Has more of that pink undertone. I'm gonna swatch Transcend right next to that one because they might look similar, but this one is more of a rose gold. Then we're gonna swatch Flaunt, which looks like a true bronze. Love the packaging, by the way. I think it is so clean and fresh and beautiful and functional. Like I like that it has that little ball on top. It makes it really easy to grab and open, especially if you have a ton of slippery product on your hands. And then this gold one, the last of the four, is Outshine. This is the one that spoke to me the least. I don't really go for gold tones like this on my skin tone. See that? It's a little too yellow. I'm gonna actually go in with the bronzy shade first. I'm gonna apply it to the high points of my face to add a glow, kind of like a lit from within glow that'll peek through over the foundation. And to do that, I'm just gonna put some of the product on the back of my hand. And I'm gonna use a Rare Beauty brush. This one doesn't look like it has a name on it, but it's the larger of the two that launched with the collection. I'm gonna use this brush to just work this highlight onto the high points of the face. Definitely an intense highlight if you like a very brilliant, glossy, reflective highlight. You're gonna get that with these. And I think if you were to sheer them out a little more, you could have them look more natural. See how it added color to my skin over top of my foundation? I think you guys can kind of see it now, how it would add color. Like it would it would look like self-tanner gone wrong, but you'll see. Trust the process, it'll come together in a bit. But the color is beautiful. It would 100% look beautiful on a deeper skin tone. My summer tan never caught up. It just kind of like, I got a little tan and then it already went away. We're gonna go in with the foundation. Again, I got sent shades that are a little too dark for me, but they did send me one with an olive undertone. This is shade 270N. See that beautiful olive undertone? The other two shades are 260N and 300C. So let me just swatch them lightest to darkest. 260N. You do have to give it a shake, you can hear it. It is a very fluid foundation, and for me, it reminded me of, I don't even know if Marc Jacobs makes it anymore, their original full coverage foundation. It's a very similar texture. Feels like water, but it has a bit of like a powdery texture. So it's almost like intense pigment suspended in a fluid, which is why it has a doe foot applicator. It makes sense for this because if you were to try and pour it out, it is so fluid, it would be really, really messy. Let's just swatch these. I'll swatch them on my cheek right here so you can see it on my face. So this is 260N. Now that I have it on my skin, I feel like I might be able to pull that one off on its own. It's a little too peachy, but 270N, which is the one that I tried last night, but it's too dark. I don't know, I might just go in with it on its own and then just heavily highlight 300C, which is a cool undertone. So this is the cool tone one, and you can see that one's clearly pink. So I'm actually gonna try and blend in 270N by itself. I'm gonna use that same brush I was using to apply the highlight, and I'm just gonna do a couple of streaks like so, and then blend it out. See how much coverage it has for how little I put on? I do have the sponge, but the PR package kind of ruined it because it came glued down, and when I took it off, it took a chunk out of my sponge. By the way, this got infected again, even though I've already had it for almost a year. I've been telling you guys, it's the most pain in the ass piercing. I love it, but it just caused me a lot of problems. But you can really see the coverage. Let's just take a look at the coverage, ignore the ear. The coverage is amazing. It looks like skin. And do you see how the highlight now is just peeking through? It doesn't look like a bad self-tanner application anymore. But I'm gonna take a brief little intermission to show you a comparison of my favorite sponge, the OFRA Perfecting Puff, I think it's called, in comparison to the Rare Beauty one. See, when I tilt it, you can see how textured the Rare Beauty one is. I actually watched Katie's review, and the word she used was porous. It has a lot of pores, whereas this one's really smooth. So this one almost reminds me of like a spackling sponge. For the sake of this video, I'm gonna go dampen it and then apply or blend out my foundation with the sponge on a small section, so I can report back and let you know how I feel about it. But just know that the OFRA sponge is my favorite, even more so than Beauty Blender. And back to the foundation. Got a little sidetracked there, just wanted to make sure I didn't forget about the sponge. The foundation is obviously too dark, but because the undertone matches me, I am a light olive, it does look good. It doesn't look so dark like it does in the bottle on my skin, probably because I'm getting a really sheer application with the brush. Definitely gonna need to highlight though. This is where I'm gonna test out the sponge. Okay, it's actually not bad. I really judged it based on the texture. It's not bad at all. I don't know if it plays well with other foundations. It could be that it plays well with this foundation. The texture is not my favorite, but it's not leaving spackle marks like I thought it would. For me, if a foundation doesn't have a hydrating aspect to it, it tends to look a little heavy in this area. So I would imagine if you had any bit of flaky texture, dry skin, this foundation might cling to it. But if you have smooth skin, smooth texture, and just want something that you can dot, sheer out, I could totally use this, I'll show you guys right now, to add more coverage where needed. So let's just say, like right there, see that little blemish right there? If I wanted to cover it, I could probably just go in with more and then pat it in instead of trying to sheer it out, and it's gonna double as my concealer. So definitely a really beautiful foundation. I think my skin still looks like skin. It looks really fresh, especially with that highlighter underneath. I could actually probably use a little more on my nose. That was a little too much, but I feel like the highlighter is still pretty intense on my nose. Final look before I add concealer. I really like it. I think it looks fresh. I would definitely go in with a lot less. I think I went in with a little too much by, you know, doing a couple swipes on each part of my face. I would probably just do like dot, 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 blend it out, and move on. So I'm gonna go in with the concealer next. It looks like a little mini version of the foundation, except that the little ball on top is flat on the concealer versus where it's completely round on the foundation. Minor detail. So this is the one I'm gonna use to highlight. This is shade 260N. It just looks a little dark, or darker than what I would typically use to highlight. So I could go lighter. I did order lighter shades as well on Sephora.com, and look at the doe foot applicator. It's got a really nice little like diamond shape, so you can really get into this inner corner. I like that it's not completely flat. This is 270N, so just one shade darker, still with that neutral undertone, which a lot of the shades labeled with an N are actually olive undertones. It'll say that on the website. I kind of wish they would have done warm neutral olive. I think Dior is the only brand that I know of that I personally have in my collection that does that. So when I see the O, I know it's an olive undertone. And this one is shade 300C, which is 300 Cool. Definitely on the more pink side. She also did come out with a little concealer brush. So it's like the smaller version of the face brush. It reminds me of the PATMCGRATH one, except that the PATMCGRATH one is really tiny. I'm gonna use that to blend in the concealer. Start with a small amount first. I did play with this yesterday, and my first thought when I used it was that it didn't have a ton of coverage, but it does blend out really nicely, and clearly it works well with the foundation. So I always start by blending it out with a brush, and then I'll go in with my sponge. I think the shade actually works really well. And see how once I blended it out, I feel like there's still a little bit of darkness right there. So for that, I'll just go in with a little more. A lot of the concealers that have been coming out recently, I feel like are so heavy that you have to blend them out right away, or else they start to stick and you can kind of see where the concealer ends on your face. Whereas this to me is super blendable. Ooh, I like what I'm seeing though. The balance of these two colors actually worked out. I think in person it's too dark, but on camera it seems to be working well. Maybe because you can't see the rest of my body, but if I were to get into a bathing suit, my face would definitely be darker than my body. Let's just say that. The concealer really blends out a ton. So next time I would use a lot less product. Looking at my skin up close, I would say that it definitely looks more textured than what I'm used to in this area. I would imagine that if you paired this with a smoothing primer, because they are technically or typically more so on the heavier side, this might look or work really well with that type of primer. Overall, the concealer, I feel like you would like this on days when you're wearing less foundation because it blends out so seamlessly. Whereas sometimes if you're having like a no makeup day and you want to add a little bit of concealer still looks like a lot of concealer, and this one I feel like would still look natural, but for a more fuller glam type of look, I feel like this just doesn't have enough coverage, but it does just blend out beautifully. I need to use it more before I give like my final answer on the concealer on whether it's worth the purchase or not. All right, what are we going into next? What do we have? Selena, huh? My Vanna White over here. What do we got next? The liquid blush. Holy moly, you guys. I played with this last night and I'm so glad I put it on my hand first. It is so pigmented. These will literally last you an eternity until they like expire or dry out or whatnot. Like these will last you forever. Like Sandlot, forever. These tones are so rich. Let me just show you. Let's swatch them first. I do love that the same silhouette in the packaging is carried through all of the various pieces. It's just kind of like a variation of it. This one has a gold top. This one is called Love. So pigmented. Like if you went in with that, blush would be your entire face. Let's go in with Joy. This is more of a coral shade. Then we have Grace, which is more of a cool toned pink mauve. I wore this one yesterday and I know the shade of pink looks so scary, but again, they're so pigmented. Once you blend it out, it's crazy that they look so natural, but they do. And I know that first watch I just ruined it for you guys, but I just had to see what it looked like when I blended it out, if it made sense. But I actually think I'm gonna go in with the pink. Prepare to be amazed, because I was. And actually before, just to build suspense, before I go in with the blush, I'm gonna bronze up with my Fenty Beauty 03 Macchiato Cheeks Out Cream Bronzer. Are you ready? Rare Beauty blush in shade Lucky. Just watch this, okay? 1 dot, same brush I used for the highlight and foundation. Just look at that pigment. Because the foundation did dry down a bit, the blush didn't blend out as much as it did the first time. Where did I go wrong this time? I swear yesterday did not look like this. Just taking a clean brush, further buffing it out. I do like that this foundation allows you to keep working though. To fix this, what I would do is take my foundation, blend it into my sponge, and just pat it back in over the blush to diffuse it a little more. I am curious though, now that I'm doing this, I'm curious how this foundation would apply with just a sponge. But look at how natural this looks, see? Easy fix. I wanna go in with just a pinch of Mesmerized to further highlight. I love the glow that the skin has right now. Again, it's really just peeking through naturally through the foundation. But I just want to see what this looks like on top, and I'm just gonna pat it in right here. It does look really beautiful sheared out and not so metallic like the Tin Man. And now I can set with powder. She did launch this really unique and innovative compact. I actually looked this one up to read the description, and I find it so fascinating. So what she put in here is blotting papers, and so this is why I had to look it up, okay? I was like, did I miss something here? This powder puff right here comes pre-loaded with a translucent powder for touch-ups. When I got this, I lifted the sponge and I was like, I think they forgot my powder. I was literally digging in here like, ooh, where's the powder? The powder comes preloaded, and so what I saw her do on the Sephora website with her video is she tapped it onto the back of her hand a couple times to activate the powder, and then you see a little cloud of powder disperse from the poof. I was truly shocked. I've never seen something like that before. I'm sure you would run through this very quickly. It is refillable though. You can just buy this if you run out of the powder. I like this combo. I think it's perfect for on the go because I do like to blot first and then powder. If not, the more you add powder, the more it just starts to cake up. I'm not gonna use it right now because I feel like this is more of a touch-up product. So I'm gonna grab my Laura Mercier powder. I always get my dog's fur on my face. It's just bound to happen. So what I've noticed throughout this video is that before setting with powder, if I had a little dog fur on my face and I went to pick it off, it did lift the foundation. So even though it feels so light and thin and looks like skin, I would still set with powder to keep it in place, because if not, I find that if you touch your face, it does come off. Especially my nose, I'm noticing it. If I touch it, it just comes off. And because I'm technically done with all my face product, I can mist. So I'm gonna mist myself with this Rare Beauty Always an Optimist 4-in-1 mist. I love that she came out with this. It's such an essential for makeup, and it's so funny when I talk to a lot of my friends who don't do a lot of makeup, I always say like, get Fix Plus, like get a facial mist, you need one. So I'm really glad that she came out with this because I truly believe a facial mist is an essential part of your makeup routine. Don't skip it. And let's give this one a try. Okay, Selena, I love you right here, but you're throwing off my facial recognition. Smells really good. It's really subtle. It's not a really intense fragrance. I would say it's no added fragrance. Don't quote me on that. That's just what I think. It's not the finest mist I've ever sprayed on my face, but it did give me a really nice, even distribution of mist, which is what I really like. It really melted everything in. I feel like any area where, no, right here it still looks a little heavy, but it definitely melted everything in, made me feel fresh. It did its job. It did. Boomer. Let's do the brows next because I love that this product has a brow gel and a pencil on each side, because I have really been into just using brow gels, but sometimes I do like to further define a bit with a pencil. And I love that this has both in one product. See that? I do like that it has a fine point. I just feel like once the fine point goes away, I probably won't love it as much. But I do love the little brow gel and brush. I'm gonna try the pencil on the tail end of my brow. This is the shade Deep Brown, and the product is called Brow Harmony. So I'm gonna use the fine point on this brow pencil. Ooh, that goes on really easily. Very pigmented. Almost a little too creamy, and it's already gone a little dull, which shows how creamy it is. The brow gel is really nice though. I love the size of the brush. The color is perfect though for my brows, which are pretty much black. Ooh, those brows are full. No. I'm gonna give this a second to dry, and I'm gonna brush it out a little because that looks a little too intense for me. She's coming to get you. She's coming through the lens, so we're gonna tone that down a bit. So here's what I'm doing to fix the brow situation. I basically just went in with a little more foundation on a small concealer brush, and I'm just cleaning it up right now, blending it out. We're back in business. All right, we're gonna go in with the Perfect Strokes liquid liner pen. Let's give it a swatch. Oh, this one's more of like a brush. It looks like a felt tip, but it's a bunch of little brush hairs. It just created a mess. I feel like I'm not getting a clean line really. We've come this far, we have to try it. Let's see what happens. It's not bad. Maybe I was pressing down too hard on the swatches on my hand because on my eye I'm going a lot lighter. It's definitely giving me a better application. I like that it looks really soft. It has like a beautiful like velvety effect. Is it the easiest liquid pen liner I've ever used? Probably not, because I'm having a layer and it's on a felt tip, so you can go a little wide accidentally if you don't want a wide winged liner. I took it upon myself to swatch everything ahead of time so you're not seeing me try and struggle to swatch it on camera. These top 3 are the tinted lip balms, and I didn't swatch the clear one because obviously it's going to be clear, but it does come in a clear as well. And this is Thankful, Empathy, Appreciate, and then these are the, what are these called? Matte Lip Creams. They've been on my arm for a while and they haven't really dried down, so I don't know how matte they actually are, but here are the shades: Fearless, Strengthen, Brave, Ascend, Motivate, and Inspire. And originally I was gonna apply Inspire because of the Selena Gomez photo on the pamphlet, but after applying the lipstick, I really want to apply Ascend. So it's this one right here. I do love the packaging. I love when lip products have the actual color on the outside. It makes it so much easier when picking out your lip. And the lip balms look like this. And I really like that they're flat on one side. Very clever little detail so that they're not rolling around on your desk. I thought that was really, really smart. So I'm gonna use, like I said, the hot pink. I am gonna use a lip pencil with this formula because it looks very creamy. I'm gonna use this HAUS Labs lip liner in the shade Rain. All right, going in with the matte lip cream. Okay, it feels completely different on the lips. It definitely feels more powdery, like really, really light and airy, versus like one of those liquid lipsticks that just like never dry down but have like the staying power of like a super glue. That's what I thought this was gonna be like, but on the lips, look at it. Definitely something I've noticed about this entire line is that everything is super blendable, so you really don't need to use that much. I'm just going in with one more layer because in some areas I felt like it looked a little sheer. All right, here is my final look using the entire range that I received from Rare Beauty by Selena Gomez. Way more glam than what I was expecting from this collection. I thought I was gonna come out looking au natural, no makeup look. Even Kyle just commented on my winged liner in the kitchen. He was like, ooh, that wing is so fierce. Bless a man who notices a difference in your makeup routine. I'm really excited to see where Selena Gomez goes from here with this collection because I think this is a really incredible start and it's definitely worth checking out. So I hope you enjoyed this time with me. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Again, don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed it. It really helps me out, guys. Subscribe, join the family, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on my uploads. And with that said, I will see you in my next video. Bye. But the second time around, these will it is an essential dog fur, yes. Maybe like the base that the pigment is okay, what am I trying to say? Shut up, Melissa.